everyone, so here I am today and I am wanting to debunk everything that you've known about propagating succulents on top of soil. They said that this is the fastest way and all that stuff, but I believe that this method right here that I am showing you right now is the fastest way to propagate. And also it's the least thing or the least method that would kill or just not grow any roots for your leaf succulents, because and this is from experience. Okay, I'm only doing this from experience. Maybe other people have done this and they think that propagating on top of soil is the fastest way, but like all the other people that I've heard from that have messaged me on Instagram and YouTube telling me that most of their leaves die. Well, the reason is because you can't really control the water intake of these leaves, and with the water propagation, it'll get the water that they need. It's not going to overly take water in that they don't need, but at least they have water in there when they need it. What I find is when I propagate on soil, I have to consciously remember to go out there and spray it and spritz it with water. Sometimes I forget. I have so many of them. So what I do, if I do want to propagate with soil, is I put it in a container that I can put a lid on that's clear, that's going to create a greenhouse effect for them, because also in that way they're getting the water that they need and the heat and the moisture inside the incubator. So here we are. I started this in June 14th. Today is the 27th, which makes it week 2. Almost. Tomorrow will be week 2. And guys, I'm just telling you, some of them were a bust, like this one, and I think the reason for that is because the cut is not clean. But it looks like there's some roots coming out. It's just taking a little bit more time. Some plants will take time, I am aware. But look, guys, 2 weeks. This is 2 weeks into propagation, water propagation. So if you are like me and you are not very patient, water propagation is the best way, I believe. Look at how much root. Not only does it have roots, guys, it has a plant in it. The plants are coming up, so you can't beat it. And that's immersed in water. I'm just gonna try to keep it at the level where I have this focused. And look, guys, I mean, come on, seriously, look how much root, how many roots this one has. This is 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks into it. Like I said, I'm very impatient. So these guys, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. This one, not only does it have roots, it has a little plant already. Bonus. This one is not rooting, but for some reason it's taking up water for these flowers to come up, and I believe that this is going to become a plant. It's probably going to have roots on its own merit. So I'm just going to keep it in there until I figure out what's going on. I don't really know the names of most of these plants because I just took it from the plants that I already have, and I'm kind of lazy because I'm trying to be organized. But this one, I can understand this is not rooting yet because I just put it in there like 2 days ago. Okay. Next we have, look at that, guys. Look how much root system it has. Okay, so we have roots, but this one doesn't have a plant. But if you plant this right now, it will have no choice but give you a plant soon. This one needs to stay a little bit longer. I just put those in. This guy right here is the fuzzy one. I love this plant right here because it has like a velvet surface. So that's ready to go. And remember the last update that I had, that was what, a week into it. Look at that, guys. Look how much root we have here. This ice plant, I just put that in there not too long ago. Not seeing any progress except for this one tiny little brew whatever that is in there. Same with this guy. Okay, so here so remember this guy right here? I told you it's gonna get roots. Yeah, this guy right here already has roots, although it only has one. So I'm afraid for it right now. So I'm just gonna keep it in there until it does have a good root system, and then I will plant it. This guy right here, remember this guy right here that I put in there? And I said, oh, it's taking a while because it's thick. It's still like living through the water that it has in it. It's very thick, so it's really slow in producing the root. But guys, I'm telling you, this water system is, I believe, the best way. This guy right here, I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm gonna keep him there until, oh gosh. This is my problem right here, is when they try to get away from me. Okay, so next we have this guy that's not doing much right now. It's a little disappointing when I don't see root system because I know for a fact that it will get it. This one, same thing. I don't know, maybe the propagation of that type of plant is totally different from the rest. But look at this. This one is another one that I was worried about because it healed up. But now I have rooties. Rootes. Okay, so I'm just going to keep you in there until you're established. And let's see here. This guy right here, they both have them. I mean, 2 weeks into the thing, right? And how could they possibly die now when they already have roots? I doubt that they ever would, unless you just neglect them and not give them water. Here's another one. Bam! Plant right there. Here's another one. Bam! Plant right there. So, okay, so if you think about it, majority of the leaves that I put in here is now a new plant. There are some, I admit, it took longer, and these ones that I showed you that didn't have roots, like this guy right here, it probably is going to take him a little longer. You know, you can't rush art, and you can't rush nature. It's going to go in its own pace. But literally all the ones that I have roots with, or roots, I can plant right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna soak up the soil so that when I put them in there, and then keep it under like indirect light. Bright but indirect, so I don't fry them, because right now they're very sensitive. I mean, if you think about it, when you're swimming in the water and then you come right out and it's cold, you know, you like freeze to death, like almost. But if you slowly acclimate yourself into the air, then you get your body temperature back. And that's the same thing with these plants. You can't let them out in the hot sun after you just transplanted them, because it's still trying to struggle in its new environment, its new substrate, if you will. So I would just keep them in kind of a shady, filtered light through, and then slowly, as they grow and as you see establishment of roots and plant, you'll see a little plant come up. You have to keep them moist. You have to keep the plant moist at least, and you have to keep them under filtered light, and then slowly, you know, take them out in the sun for about an hour, take them right back into the filtered light, and then the next day or 2 days later, you know, you do that for like maybe 1 or 2 days, and then the third day take them out, leave them out there for a couple hours, you know, just slowly introduce them to bright light, which they will thrive on after a while, because these are succulents. And as soon as you have all those plants established and they're bigger and they're hardier, then you will have a nice healthy plant. But those are the things that, I mean, it really takes a lot of caring and a lot of feeling the plant through, just to get to know the plant, and you know, try to put yourself in the position of the plant, is what I'm trying to say. If you can't do that, just, you know, heed my words, and I will keep updates on these plants so that you can follow along, so you're not in the dark. Because sometimes I see a lot of, I've actually watched a lot of videos out there, and they will stop right at the point where, okay, then you have questions, okay, then what happens next, you know, and there's no follow through sometimes. So there are updates. The updates are like, okay, here's my plant now, blah blah blah, you know, that's fine, but I really want an update on, okay, so what happened next after you put that in some soil and you put it out in the in the sun, after it's been established. Or a little plant like this, you know, it's still very tender. So there's really not anything out there that I've seen. You know, if I'm wrong, just make a comment, put a comment. Don't put any nasty things out there, or, you know, thumbs down and stuff like that without any explanation of why did you give me a thumbs down. I'm trying to help people here. You know, and let me know what you're thumbs downing for, so that I can explain myself. Maybe I just forgot something. I really want this to be a learning experience for all of us, and hopefully it helped a little bit in some of your questions. I know there was one girl that was having a hard time with propagation, because she can't seem to get it to live, and so I gave her some explanation, and hopefully that's enough for her to, you know, thrive and keep propagating out there, because we don't want anybody to be so frustrated about this, because I was so frustrated when I was doing the soil. It's like, what am I doing wrong? I'm spritzing it, I'm not putting out in the direct sunlight, it's indoors. Is it my climate? Is it what, you know? And I feel like this method right here is the best method to propagate. So hopefully that helps you. If you have any comments, be nice, you know, don't bash me, because I will delete it. And you know, it just doesn't make people feel good when you do that, and you wouldn't want people to do it to you. So but that's my 2 cents. So have fun, happy succulents. Bye now. Okay, so this is what I mean when I say a greenhouse effect. I have this shoebox, and I just put all of my new plants, my seedlings, in there. And as you can see, they are growing pretty well. I have this one problematic echeveria right here that I bought from eBay, and it came with like dead roots, so I'm gonna try to see if I can if this would create roots for me to make another plant, because it's a really nice pretty plant, but it feels like it's actually like sort of rotting. I'm not sure, but all these plants are actually ready to go out in the world, so it is time for them to come out of this box into an open box. Oops, what happened there? I don't know what happened there. These guys are just about ready to go and get acclimated with the sun. Not actually the sun, but just being out. I had the lid off of it the other day or yesterday, just to get them used to being out in the open, you know, out in the air, because I see like some of them are puckering up. And I also put a little bit of water into them just so that they would get used to being out and you know, the soil drying up on them. So I have this other container. It's a tray as well, and I am going to put each and every one of them in here, just so maybe at night I'll cover them up, because it's still pretty cool out here in Napa at night. Not that it's gonna hurt them any, but it's still gonna, they're still going to be under filtered light, because as soon as they get a little bit bigger than they are right now, that's when I'm going to start trying to acclimate them to more sunshines, more sunlight. So I'm going to put them in a separate tray like this. So that's taken care of. So my next feat will be to put the new plants that I had shown you into this box with the lid on. Before I put the lid on, I will spritz them with water just to create that greenhouse effect. And the first thing I'm going to do is plant my one with a lot of, not that one, this one. These guys right here are going to be, this is going to be pretty big. This must be a Graptosetum. With a pencil and just make my hole right there and just set her inside and just cover that. So now the rooting system will produce a new plant, and that new plant and the roots are going to try to take the nutrients from this leaf right here. So all I have to do is just really keep the soil spritzed, a little bit of water, you know, because I'm really afraid that it's going to struggle if the environment is so dry. I'm just gonna spritz a little bit of water, maybe right now, just to get her used to that substrate, because it's, I mean, if you think about soil is pretty heavy, and water is really light. So back you go. So there's one. here are the leaves that have been planted a week ago from the water propagation, and they are now thriving.